Hello, my name is Taryn SP. Everyone here has at least once been upset about something so small it ruined your whole day. You've complained about something so small that you didn't even think about what the person you were talking to is going through. When is the last time many of you have checked in on one of your friends or even family members? This is something we all need to work on as a community because it's very rare to hear someone checking in on others. We must think about others and not always complain about the hard things in life. In the past 18 years, I have complained and whined about things I shouldn't have, but I have also been in the position where I was the one keeping it all into myself and letting others complain about silly things to me as I struggled. Life isn't always easy. Many struggle day to day without saying a word and still smile for everyone. We shouldn't complain about simple things in life and stay kind to everyone. I will give two examples about times people or things haven't spoken up when they are really struggling and someone else is complaining about something that they shouldn't be complaining about. First, I will start off with the asphalt fable, the oxen and the actual trees, to show how the oxen just listened while the actual trees did nothing and complained. Next, I will share a story about a time I was struggling and listened to another person struggle on something I wish I could be struggling on. So let's start with the asphalt fable, the oxen and the axle trees. The fable, the oxen and the axle trees is not very common, but when you look into it deeply, you are able to understand the true meaning behind it. The fable tells us on September 23, 2020, that the oxen were suffering carrying the heavy wagon while the axle trees were making noises. So the oxen asked why they were complaining, and they responded saying they were doing all the work. The oxen just looked and continued on. When you think of an oxen, you think of a huge animal who is scary and strong. According to Focus magazine, in 2023, an oxen can carry up to 900 kg, which is 1.5 more times than their body weight. As you can imagine, an oxen is very strong, but doesn't mean it's easy for them. The axle trees just spin around with the help of the oxen who is pulling them. The oxen never complained about the weight and just goes on with their day, while the axle trees did what they did. So as you can imagine, the oxen is constantly pulling the weight of everything that is on the wagon, and even with no brakes on his legs, he never complains. With that being said, the fable shows us that the oxen is doing all the work but not complaining about it, while the axle trees are doing barely any work and still complaining about the simplest thing. The one suffering the most doesn't ever speak up. After hearing about the oxen and its fable, let's look in a more personal example. May 5th, 2022, I was a freshman in high school who had just received some of the hardest news anyone could imagine, and I've struggled with it ever since. I believe many people face challenges that they never thought they would face and don't know how to communicate about it, so they keep it in. So on May 5th, I had just finished my soccer game where we had just won 9-0, and I had scored 5 goals. I walked off the field smiling, looking for my mom, who didn't look very happy. I kept going and walked up to her and hugged her as always. We started talking and headed to the car when I heard one of her friends tell her good luck. I didn't think much of it and continued on. When I finally got home that night, my mom had informed me that my cousin had been killed in a car accident earlier that day. My cousin was my best friend. It completely shattered me. It affected me as a whole, but I didn't want anyone to know or see my pain. The next day we had a very important soccer game, and my teammates were counting on me. I remember getting on the bus, staying to myself, when I heard one of my teammates complain that she didn't want to play because we were going to lose. We then started the game, and I played the worst I've ever played that first half. I came back to the team huddle, where several of my teammates told me to get it together and yelled at me. I wasn't fazed by it and just went on and played the second half the best I could. That's when I scored the winning goal with 2 minutes left in the game. This is when I realized no one cared about what I was going through. They only cared about how scared they were to lose when I had lost the worst the day before. That's when it hit me. You could be going through the worst thing in life and complain and listen to others complain about the small things, and they will never know the true struggle of hardship. After telling these two stories through Asphalt Fables and my personal experience, it doesn't matter if you're going through something so hard, someone will always be complaining about something simple as you sit in silence. If you ever struggle, don't let someone in their small struggle make you feel less. Thank you.